Welcome to the 111 Approach podcast, your go-to space for deep thoughts, real talk, and exploration of everything from spirituality to self-development and the mysteries of life with some light-hearted humour along the way. I'm your host, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer, and each episode will dive into different topics, sometimes personal, sometimes thought-provoking, but always authentic. So whether you're here for some new perspectives, inspiration, or just a fresh take on the world with a bit of randomness thrown into the mix, you're definitely in the right place. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the 111 Approach podcast. Yay, you came back. So thank you for being here and listening. I really appreciate it. So today's episode, I wanted to talk about overwhelm and the pressures of having to conform or do things just because everyone else is doing it or it's what society expects from you. Now, this has so many levels to it, so I will no doubt be circling back to this topic probably several times throughout this podcast show because there's so much to discuss and uncover. And I know a lot of my clients and family and network have experiences with overwhelm, as I'm sure you as a listener do too. I can pretty much hazard a guess that 80% of you listening right now are nodding your heads. So I've really struggled with this massively throughout my life, which is why I probably rebelled a lot. I say rebelled, I should probably change that to rebel, present tense. I was also the kid / I'm the person who still questions a lot. Like, what can I say? I'm a very curious person. I tend to want to know more information and understand why things are the way they are and who made them that way, especially when it comes to things like religion and societal norms. I'm like that phone jacker skit with the internet service providings. But why? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to go there? Why do we have to wear that? Or why can't we cut our hair? Or why if in Sikhism they speak of men and women being equal, but they still sit separately in the temple, and there's still such a massive divide on how women are treated and men are treated in that culture. If anyone can give me an answer to that, especially why they sit separately in the Gurdwara, I would really appreciate it because no one's really explained it. And it's not like I was trying to be rude or disrespectful when I'm asking these questions. I'm genuinely interested, but unfortunately a lot of the time, especially when I was younger, it was met with the age-old answer of just because, or because it's tradition. So I rebelled and pushed boundaries. Sorry, correction again. I rebel and push boundaries and I go against the grain. And if everyone's doing one thing, I'll purposely try and do something else just to stand out. I remember when denim jackets were all the rage in the late 90s / early millennia. I refused to get one. Even though every girl at my high school was rocking them and they looked so good with a dress and those ankle ruched boots, I was like, nope, not going to dress like the rest of my peers. I ended up actually putting blue streaks in my hair at one point in sixth form. And then I did all the colours under the rainbow. I had everybody had those red streaks, but I was like, no, I'm not doing red. So I did every other colour but red. So blue, jade green, pink, purple. I had white streaks like Storm from X-Men. I went through all the colours of the rainbow. I've always had this want to kind of stand out and prove a point, I guess. Sometimes doing things maybe I necessarily didn't want to do, but I just wanted to push a boundary, which is quite interesting because when I reflect back, when I was younger and in my teens, all I ever wanted to do was fit in somewhere. Like I said in the previous episode, I was already standing out because of the colour of my skin. I didn't then want to stand out more by being the weird kid that could see the energies. But now, and in certain aspects, I have always wanted to stand out, but then always had that sense of belonging. I remember when navel piercings and back tattoos were all the thing, I actually ended up getting them done. Again, I think it was more to push a boundary and rebel. So now, as I sit and reflect on some of the things that I've done in the past, I found myself discovering a contradiction that actually is a fundamental paradox in human psychology. There's a constant battle of finding that balance between the human desire to be part of a group and feel accepted, whilst also simultaneously wanting to express our individuality and be recognized as a unique individual. We desire a sense of belonging, as a human. We kind of follow what others do because we hope that then we get accepted and we fit in. And this stems back from our cave people days, like hunter-gatherer societies, where we needed to cooperate and develop tribes and communities and strengthen bonds with each other in order to survive, right? Strengthen numbers. And yet we also desire a sense of uniqueness and trying to be different from others in the hopes of also standing out. It's like a fine balance. You want to be weird enough to be quirky, but not weird enough to be weird. And basic enough to fit in, but not basic enough to be boring or you're basic. So there's this constant conflict within us, and it can be quite daunting and overwhelming. And we find ourselves succumbing to the pressures of like the outside world and our peers. They advise us on what we should be doing. And I say should be in air quotes, and then I realize you can't see me. And I find that sometimes it takes the fun and joy out of what we're trying to achieve. Case in point, this very podcast. I've been sitting on the idea of starting a podcast for almost 2 years. And then back in June 2024, whilst I was on a 10-day silent meditation retreat, I had the motivation and the drive to actually sit and plan out the whole concept of what the podcast would look like, what topics I'd talk about, named it, and had the concept of doing the 1-minute meditations at the end. It was all ready to go. And people don't know, this podcast actually came from a place of me struggling and feeling really overwhelmed with the pressures of having to manage my social media platforms all by myself, because I used to have a social media manager and then she stopped offering her services due to personal circumstances. And then I wasn't in a position to be able to invest that time and energy and even the funds for finding a new person. And so I was thinking, what can I do? I've got all this content that I want to share with everyone and provide a lot of value. A lot of people come to me. I do coaching and as well as the Reiki for my clients. I thought, well, I struggle. I really struggle with my self-image and insecurities about being on video. Although I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, and I do enjoy doing some of the reels. When I look back on the actual footage, I do think I suffer from slight body dysmorphia. I'm really overcritical of myself. And the thing is, I don't want that to get in the way of what I want to share with my clients and my followers and you as listeners. I do get told quite a lot that I have led a very interesting life and I've had very unique experiences. And obviously, due to the nature of the work that I do, I'm able to channel things that a lot of people will resonate with, and it could potentially help a lot of people get through their issues or struggles. And that's what I really love to do. I love to help people. And I say help, but I love to empower people, because you can get too much into the helper savior mode, and that's not me. I want to guide and empower people to take ownership of their stuff and move them through it. But yes, I just would get so overwhelmed, and it would cause me so much distress having to get ready, look decent enough for the camera, then do all the work, involve taking so many takes and edits to get the perfect shot or reel. It was just taking up so much time and energy. Honestly, people sometimes don't believe me because they're just like, oh, you're so pretty and you look amazing and you shouldn't have any problems. And it's like, well, that's through the lens of your eyes. But for me, I really struggle with my self-image. And if you don't believe me, you can ask my sister, because she can vouch for how frustrating I can get when I'm trying to take some photos and I feel really unphotogenic. I once had a full-on meltdown and burst into tears after doing a mini photo shoot for some new headshots, and everyone was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I don't like any of the photos. And she had taken about 50 of them and painstakingly had to choose a few. Fun fact, the one that is now my go-to branding headshot is one of those photos. So thank you, Mint Studios, for that amazing work. So I decided then finally during my stint at the meditation retreat that I'm going to do podcasting. Podcasting will be amazing. This is my platform. I can record without needing to be on video. I'll do it like my girl, Francesca Amber, one of my favorite podcasters. She set up her podcast 5 years ago for precisely the same reason. So I was like, right, I'm going to do this. In June 2024, had it all ready. And then here comes the professional procrastinator at work, and it takes me like 8 months to actually get around to recording and launching. And now all of a sudden, 2025 comes and everyone's saying, yes, podcast, next big thing. Make sure you record yourself on video so you can use it for content across all platforms. wait, what? Like, no. This is me. I'm like, no. This is precisely the reason I wanted to do podcasting, so I can sit like I am right now in my bed, in my pajamas, with my goggles and barefaced, with my hair in a bun and an LED mask on. So I look like Jason's deranged girlfriend from the Halloween franchise. Like, this is why I do what I do. But then I was talking to my sister and she was like, yeah, record yourself. It would be good. You can get your content out on all platforms. It really threw me. I'm like, okay, maybe I should do this. I keep flipping back and forth. Let's record some content then. We might as well utilize it. But each time I sat down and I looked through the camera footage after recording an episode, I just really hated it. And I thought, no, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel aligned. This is not the reason why I started this. And I kind of lost that joy and excitement of wanting to do a podcast. So it just delayed me more and more. And now here I am sitting here recording it last minute, a few days before launch day. And I realized I've just added way more workload and stress onto my plate because I wasn't staying true to what I wanted to do and the way I wanted to do it. So I sat and meditated and I got a message and it was just saying, stop, just stop. Just stop listening to everyone. Listen to yourself. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do podcasting? You want to do podcasting without video. So why the fuck are you letting people dictate what they think you should do? Yes, my guides swear. And they were like, so why the fuck are you letting people dictate what you think you should do? You rarely let people do this to you in your past, so why are you starting now? And that's when I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to do it my way. And shout out to Neil Giller as well, because he also was like, fuck it, do it your way. I'm like, yes, I will. So this is why you ain't going to be seeing my face on this podcast anytime soon, people. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Because like Frank Sinatra said, and no, I'm not going to sing it, but I did it my way. Or I could say Usher. Usher's more my vibe. My way. She likes it my way. Ooh, yes, we're more on the Usher vibe. So Frank Sinatra, although he's a ledge, but, you know, not really my scene. So what I'm trying to say is, don't listen to other people. Don't let them put more stress and overwhelm on your plate. We have enough of that as it is from our own stuff and our own inner critic. So don't let people put more onto that. So what I'm trying to say is, don't listen to other people. Don't let them put more stress and overwhelm onto your plate. I'm sure we've got enough of that from our own ego and inner critic and imposter syndrome as it is. So don't take on other people's shit as well. Take things at your own pace, at your own time, and do what feels right for you, whatever the reasons are. So let's end this as we always do with a 1-minute healing meditation. So if it is safe to do so, please close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold for a few seconds and then breathe out through your mouth. Just bring your energy and focus into your body, into the present moment, and ask yourself, what do I want? And even if no answer comes up, just sit in this energy and this space for a minute. Connect with yourself and your energy. Let go of other people's comments and agendas for you. Try and focus on your own energy and your own agenda for yourself. Just for a minute. How does that feel? And with that, just take a deep breath in through your nose again. Hold for a few seconds and then breathe out through your mouth as you open your eyes. And I want to always end with gratitude, so thank you so much for being here with me. I do want to hear from you as well, so please do download this episode, review and rate it. It takes mere seconds, and please do share this with someone you think would benefit. And if you want to share it on your socials, you can also tag me. I would really appreciate it. I'm at the 111 approach. And if this episode has resonated with you and you want to come on here and share your thoughts, connect with me on socials and let's get you on. And I'll see you on the next episode. Sending you all love, light and blessings.